Yes, we are back. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in KLONA Conversation. This is your girl Lois. As always, I give you topics that give you value for your data, value for your time. So please, before you start even watching, share with your friends. In this episode, we are discussing real estate. We talked about how to buy, what you need to know before you buy a house. We are going to talk about what you need to know before you buy a land. But there is a synergy, there is a relationship between house buying and land buying. But today in the house, I have someone who is very experienced in this area, has good content, what you need to know, the do's and don'ts. Please, as I introduce the main man, how are you?
I am good. How are you, Royce? How are you? I'm glad to be hosted here.
Nice meeting you, Robert.
Yes.
How is area?
Area is good.
How many years have you been in operation?
This is now about 10 years.
Wow.
Yes, because we were incorporated, actually more than 10 years, 15 years, because we were incorporated in 2006.
Okay.
So those about 15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
How is that going? Do you meet your objectives?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As you've said, Area is a member organization. It's an umbrella organization bringing together all real estate agents in Uganda. And my name is Robert Tuliachira, and I am the head of corporate affairs of
what does that mean, corporate affairs? My people don't understand that English.
Yes, of course, I think that most of the viewers are actually
English
people who are interested in real estate, and therefore they've heard about Area.
Okay.
And Area basically looks at 4 areas. The first aspect of Area is business growth and professionalization.
For who?
For real estate agents.
Oh, okay.
Because Area in full is Association of Real Estate Agents in Uganda. And because, as you have said, in tumanya abafereje bali feche tusinga okulaba nti how do we professionalize the industry real estate. Ate bwe twogera ku real estate twogera ku business dealinga n'amataka n'amayumba. So you're dealing with because amayumba gali ku ttaka. So n'olwekyo Area ekola omulimu munene nnyo okulaba nga we professionalize the industry.
Good.
And especially looking at the people who are in the industry, like brokers. Kubanga abantu abasinga tebaagala kukola ekintu broker. Bagamba nti these people are always baferi. So Area yambako ku kintu ekyo. And the other bit also is Area yambako ku nsonga ya education and research. Kubanga tulaba nti bogenda okulaba nti in Uganda right now the urbanization rate in Uganda is at 20%. Ekitegeeza nti enkura y'ebibuga n'okufuuka amatawuni mu Uganda eri 20%.
Like the
urbanization, yes.
It's high.
It's quite high because
comparing to the worldwide. What's the worldwide? Or, you know.
Because see the issue here in Uganda is that there's a lot of rural urban migration, where many people are moving from villages to towns. Yeah. And also the growth of the housing sector in Uganda, what you can call real estate, is now at 12%.
That's big.
Per annum. Okay. And that shows that abantu okusinga olwokubanga nti baagala buli omu bwafuna akasente ke ayagala kuzimba ayagala kuinvesting. And the issue is because real estate deals with the only certain business omuntu jasobola okuteekamu esente n'amanya nti at least ajja
you're sure that this is an investment.
Yeah. So kyova olaba ngeno sure abantu bangi balina ogyetanira because at least you're sure nti olina akasente keeyo oba bukadde 5 oba bukadde 10 oba bukadde 2 oba 10. So real estate is the industry where any person buli kasente kabeera afunye oba mufuna mpola asobola akateekamu ne kasobola okukula. So n'olwekyo Area yo gwe mulimu gwayo. Ate nga bwe mugambye nti ekola ku education.
Really?
It trains.
Trains who?
Trains the real estate agents.
The whole value chain.
The whole value chain. Kasi obeera ng'oli mu area ya real estate. Era area ebeera eyambako through the institute, which is the Real Estate Institute of East Africa.
Sure.
And the Real Estate Institute of East Africa, where I'm the head of corporate affairs, era nga oyinza ogamba nti mbeera kalabalaba.
Like overseer.
Yes, overseeing to make sure that nkwanyaganya emirimu ja institute ne association wakati w'omuntu owa bulijjo ne ba real estate agents mu Uganda.
So these trainings, are they for paying? Are they free?
Yeah, the trainings are for paying. Some are for paying, others are for free. because ogenda okulaba, like for example, like when we hold like seminars, you know, we have everybody attending. But like for example, if we do like a training, like recently we had a training on condominium properties. Kubanga abantu babadde tebamanyi nti oyinza okukola ekyapa mu bbanga. Because that is
yeah, like in an apartment, like
yeah, apartments. But you see, apartments, some apartments have the mother title, but they don't have the titles for every unit. So there is a law called the condominium property law, which allows you, Royce, that bobozi in the apartment yo osobola kuteeka ko unit nosanga nti omuntu avuddeyo nze nga Robert nzize nensobola okugula unit nebeera yange. So kakati ekyo nakyo tulaba nti abantu bakitegeere, because it also goes with awareness. And awareness goes with advocacy. Okulaba nga abantu bategeera bino ebintu, bategeere nti bino ebintu gyebiri, amateeka gyegali, ate basobole okuba nga babyenyigiramu. So area ya nsaale nnyo okulaba it bridges that gap between the industrial players and the general population and the public. Yes. Okay. Yes.
So I'm sure we are having the right person in the seat, really.
Yes.
Given the introduction, I'm amazed
yes.
at the work you do as a person, but also as the organization.
Yes.
Now, today on our topic, our viewers want to know, what are those things? Simply, they want to know the basic things you need to know before you buy land or a house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Royce. First and foremost, and I am happy that you're asking that, because now it also takes back the responsibility from the seller to the buyer.
Yes.
So the buyer who is investing his or her money, in the first place, what you have to do is to ensure that you visit where you are going to buy.
Physical location.
Physical location, because you see,
now
we have a tendency of people buying air.
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason why that happens is because someone has not visited the site. When you visit, Uganda government, you have actually visited the place yourself, you can be able to ascertain exactly that this is what I'm going to buy.
I know.
And after you have visited, the next step is that you are supposed to carry out what we call a search.
A due diligence.
Due diligence. And the search, and that's why for us as area, we are working very closely with the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. Because the ministry puts in place policies, but you see, for us as the agents, as the association that brings together the industry players and the agents, we try to see that we put in place and implement what the ministry has put in place. And therefore, if you go and do the search, first of all, you will be able to search the ownership of the land. Abantu osobola okutegeera nti ani gwengulako, kubanga ne most cases ekibeerawo nti mu business eno eyaffe ya real estate osanga nti omuntu oluusi atunda ate siye nanyini. Yes, and that is now the issue of agents and brokers. That is, you know, in most cases that is how it is. But the reality is supposed to be that if the person is going to sell, you're supposed to sell what belongs to you. But because we have now the agents who are the middlemen, now you as a buyer, you must ensure that you do the search and establish from the Ministry of Lands that actually Royce, who is selling this land, actually the land belongs to Royce. So that you ascertain the ownership. And the moment you have done that, then the next bit is, as you have said about land, you are supposed to do what you call surveying. If you are supposed to have
opening boundaries.
Yes, opening boundaries.
So
yeah,
because before we go to Koyola Mpenda, the first point was about the buyer doing a physical visit.
Yes.
We have a scenario. Most of our people who have that money to buy land and houses in Uganda are not in Uganda.
Yes,
they are abroad.
Yes.
Our sisters in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, they can't be here physically.
Yes.
What do you do in that case when you can't do a physical visit?
We have those scenarios. We have those scenarios, and as you said, it is something that is commonplace.
Very common.
Bakadde baffe abali ebweru, you know, bamu babayita bakadama, ora akoze akasente ke, bambi ayagala kuinvestinga. Ate kintu kirungi nnyo okulaba nti omuntu asobodde okukola akasente ke n'agala kuinvestinga back home. Kati in such a scenario, kiba kitegeeza nti olina okuba ofuna omuntu nga ffe kye tuyita oyo omuntu gweta agent. Olwakuba nti oluusi tugamba nti broker. But a broker and an agent is the same. However, what happens is that omuntu bwoba omuwadde gwa agency kiba kitegeeza nti you may even go ahead mu mateeka omuwe kye tuyita powers of attorney. Kubanga omuntu bw'omugamba nti noonyeza ettaka oba noonyeza ennyumba oba kola eki nga tomuwadde specific instructions in writing, omuntu asobola kusukawo ye n'akola ebyo by'ayagala.
But you cannot do that to a these brokers of ours.
Anti kyobalanga area gwe mulimu gwekola era ffe nga institute tuvaayo nnyo okulaba nga brokers tuba traininga nti you actually because broker abeera akolera commission because naye baba akoze omulimu naye asanye kusasulwa. But it's on a commission basis.
Who are selling land that is not already sold.
That is now the challenge, and the truth of the matter, and probably this show is going to help so much because the truth is that we must be able to see that we provide the solution.
Yes.
And we want agents and brokers to do their business professionally.
Yes.
And that's why I talked about the reason why we're working with the Ministry of Lands and Urban Development is that the ministry has brought in a law in place called the real estate bill. It is before Parliament.
When was that?
It was proposed. It was not yet passed. It was proposed by the ministry, and it is now before Parliament.
Sure.
Still a bill, and that bill is aiming at regulating the real estate industry, how agents and brokers are playing their role, how they are doing their business to ensure that they do it professionally. Because if somebody nga bw'ogambye omuntu bw'aba atunze empewo etteeka liba lirina omukwatako.
Exactly. Naye kati etteeka likwata ne bakutwala mu kooti and all you do is to pay 500,000.
So kati eyo challenge etteeka eryo tusuubira nti ligenda kukiwalinga ensonga eyo. Kyokka ate omanyi kati olaba nga area tulina kyetuyita code of conduct. Kati code of conduct eyo ebeera eyambako okulaba nti real estate agent abeera akola emirimu gye in what we call an ethical way. Ethical kwe kubeera nga okola ekintu n'obuntu bulamu. Nti weewaawo tewali tteeka liri Parliament gyerimu. But wano bw'oba ng'okola business gikole ng'olinamu obuntu ate ng'olaba nti ekintu nkola ya mpisa nti tofera munno kubanga era n'obufere bwennyini fraud.
Yes.
It is in the law, in the penal code. Era obosobola kuvunaana bw'obanga balabye nti waliwo wenyigidde mu bufere etteeka weeriri. Kyokka nga kati the reason why we encourage brokers era mu training zaffe tubagamba nti mubeere basaale mubeere bantu balamu kubanga bw'oba ng'okoze ekintu n'okola ekintu ekituufu era abantu basinga bagenda kubanga bakwettanira kubanga alaba nti gundi yakola ebintu ebirungi. So n'olwekyo bakadde baffe abali ebweru that is a big challenge. Oluusi bw'oba nga toliiwo olina okufuna omuntu gwe weesiga ate oba nga omuntu oyo ng'omuwadde instructions ezo kyandibadde kirungi kubanga badde ngenda ku stage eddako wali bwe mbadde nkuwa procedure wano surveying eyambako okulaba nti ekiri ku kyapa kyekiri ku ground. You get it?
So that's the step we can't miss.
Eyo step nnungi nnyo kubanga oba ojja kutegeera nti I'm going to buy 20 acres era nosanga research survey report era kyeraga kati omuntu ayambako ku ekyo Royce omuntu ayambako ku ekyo bamuyita district staff surveyor. Kati ayina okuwa ebbaluwa ng'akkiriza surveyor wo okugenda n'akola ki kati bw'omala ofuna survey gundi eyo eyo stage yeddako olina okulaba nti kyokola kyonna ofuna munnamateeka.
So my question there is my struggle. Actually, it's not even a question, it's a struggle. That why people skip that stage is because of lack of money.
Yes.
So they skip that stage trusting the broker that he will be authentic.
You know, ffenna tuba tulina abantu
because of the charges, the surveyors are expensive.
Nze nsaba kuwabulamu n'okusaba abantu abagula kubanga you know you're talking about a transaction where somebody ogenda teko bukadde nga 10 sente nyingi zogenda oteekamu nozibeera nga era nazo omuntu asavinze waliwo bamama ne batata abeera nga asavinze akasente ke naddala kati nga abavubuka omuvubuka bw'olaba nga agenze kugula ettaka buying land manya nti yerekereza
buli kimu
yerekereza abalala bali mu kulya pizza gyasazeemu n'agamba nti kangula ettaka ate nga amanyi nti emyaka egyovubuka gyegikolera emikadde. So that is something very serious. So bw'oba nga ogenda kukola investment eyo olina okubeera very 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 careful topapa because yes, as you've said, yinza okwagala okulaba nti jumping a stage eyo, but once it backfires kyangu nnyo okusanga nga there is an error nga title egamba kirala nekiri ku ground nga kintu kirala,
and it's very common,
and it is something very common. Nina mukwano gwange yadde angamba recently ayina title ye eri suppose kubeera nga byageza okugenda okukola surveying over decimals 15 from an entire acre. Kati ne bamugamba this surveyor n'agamba nti they are going to do the entire acreage yona balabi ezo 15 zabulirawa. Yes, so kakati ebintu stage nkulu nnyo era abantu temweyibaala ogamba nti nze kati olwokubanga waliwo sente nnyingi. No, you earn so much by doing things in the right way and following the right procedure.
Robert,
yes,
we are going to come back. This is hot. I didn't even want to go for a break, but let's be back. We are back from the break and we're still with Robert. He was explaining what you need to know when you're going to buy a piece of land in Uganda. Anyway, the basic principles. Please note, have a pen. Robert.
Yes.
We stopped at surveying.
Yes,
opening
surveying.
Boundaries.
Yes.
And establishing where the land is, whether it's matching with the land title.
Yes.
And all.
Yeah, and the reason, the advantage of and connects with the visiting and surveying is that you will have the neighbors. The neighbors also get involved. You know, in case there is something that is fraudulent, then the neighbors will be able to tell you. Do you know that some people even buy land when they kurika amararo nga tebachimanyi? You know, kati bobanga you have involved now the neighbors basalo kugamba. But the most important stage, Royce, is the issue of engaging with the lawyer. Kati bobo maze okulaba nti surveying ze bintu biri bulungi ekifo kyoyagala oyagala kusasula. At that stage kirungi nnyo okulaba nga engaging mu namateeka. The reason why you must
immediately that point where you have established the piece of land.
Yes.
Now you're going to pay, but before you pay, you have to involve the lawyer.
Yes, before you pay, you have to involve the lawyer. Why? There must be an agreement. Now, an agreement. Nze nawe tusobola kutuula tuwandika agreement. Nti Robert ntuziza Royce, you know, wabaddewo so and so eyo agreement tusobola gikola era ekkirizibwa mu mateeka. Kyokka kiba kirungi bw'oba ng'oyingeginze lawyer nabanga akodde agreement yennyini nga eri mu mateeka nga even it is even witnessed. It is even witnessed.
And with the right language.
With the right language ate nga mwenna kubanga jjukira nti nabadde kugamba luli agent. Bw'oba nga wabadde agent gwe wawa nga yali mukola ku kintu ekyo. Bw'oba nga wamuwa powers of attorney. Mugamba nti I have given powers of attorney so and so to buy for me. You get it, eh? Nga agent wo aba ina powers of attorney. Okola omulimu ogwo nyini kakati awo the moment you involve the lawyer awo oba olaba clearly who has bought, who has sold, who has witnessed, and now the lawyer will be able to guide.
Sure.
Kati the moment you involve with the lawyer, then kati gwe ng'omuntu oluusi bw'oba tomanyi naddala bino ebyamateeka oba ojja kufuna chance okuba nti lawyer wasala kuwabula. Era tu advisinga nnyo abantu abeera nga bagula nigamba kindly involve the lawyer. Why? Because in case tomorrow you are to go to court, such a document era lawyer nyini yabeera nga yavaayo nasobola okudefendinga. Kati ku stage y'okusasula nayo waliwo obuzibu kubanga osanga nti abantu abamu they actually want to pay either physically, either others want to pay by mobile money, others want to pay in the bank.
Sure.
So that is also very important because in case kubanga oluusi bw'olaba nti wabeerawo abafere esente bwe ziba nga ziri physical ng'omuntu asasudde kakati awo wayinza kubaawo ekiyinza okuba nga kigenda mu maaso kati nga juzi twalabye story yabaddewo ng'oli asasula ssente kasabe bamala kulaba nga bamukwasiza ssente katono n'awendula banne ne bajja okutunuza muno nga bamusomeramu mu ddiiri endala awo era nga bali nga ate bali part of the person who has bought era bwe baamala ne bamutwala ssente ne bazimuggyako ate oludde nga ebiwandiiko biraga nti amaze okusasula
Kugamba nazifuna
esente nazo zimufiirwa. You get it?
So at the stage of paying, what do we need
at the stage of paying also the lawyer must be involved. Lawyer naye alina okubeera nga ali involved naye nakiwitnessinga kubanga nga taneteekawo wadde stamp ye kyandibadde kirungi amanyi nti nsasudde oba sente zonna sasudde at once oba sasulako installments like that. kyandibadde kirungi era kyandibadde kisoboka singa oba osobola n'okwala n'ensemenoziwa ne lawyer n'aba nga yasasudde kyandibadde kirungi. But what we encourage is that if possible pay in the bank, because the good thing with the bank, there's proof.
Traceable.
Yes, it is a proof that actually you paid the money,
happened.
And once you show that evidence, the bank, you can even court can instruct the bank to actually
to produce
that
statement.
So kati ekyo kiba kirungi nakyo ekya bank okulaba nga osasula mu bank. Of course singa bwe tugamba even mobile transactions kubanga nekirungi ekiriwo nti if you can also trace that transaction. Kyokka era n'okusanga nti ozana ekisawo ky'essente n'osasula oli maybe tewali n'abantu, sometimes something may happen. So no, the transaction of real estate,
you discourage physical payment.
It is highly discouraged, although some people prefer it
because of the brokerage.
Because of the brokerage. You
see, so they encourage cash.
Of course, you see, that is the other challenge now, because and sometimes when we're engaging with brokers, nga tuba training mu misomo gyaffe batugamba nti kakati ffe twagala commission waffe.
Definitely.
So kakati, but you see, bobanga broker ngobadde oyina instructions, bakuwadde instructions in writing, ne bobanga sente basasudde mu bank era sirosula funa ki commission wosula mufuna, because
for them they are also saying, I will speak for the brokers,
yes,
that once they give the money into the bank, usually the sellers never come back to them to give them their money.
You know challenge era brokers babadde bagiraise.
In fact, when they are frustrated at the seller's side, they come back to the buyer.
Yes.
And they start frustrating you. First, we didn't get our commission, give us our money, so it becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem. So Norwecho kwegamba omanyi bobanga ogezako kola ebintu mu butufu bwabyo olunsi osanga okusoomozebwa. There will be those challenges. But kyovula nabadde nkugamba nti a broker nga tanayingira mu mulimu kiba kirungi abeere ng'afuna instructions mu buwandiike naye tebwobanga tomusasudde asobola n'ogenda ne mu kooti
it's already documented.
Yes, it's documented showing exactly what he or she is going to earn. And therefore if you do not pay and there is evidence that the transaction took place, then you'll be liable. The person who can go to court and enforce that bit of.
So Robert,
yes, please.
We have a scenario where we have followed all those procedures. You buy land, 1 month after you put a chain link.
Yes.
When someone shows up with that title, authentic title,
yes,
of the same, what do you do? What is the, because of panic, I mean, what do you do as a client, people who are watching? Now,
as you've said, once you have actually put a chain link and somebody emerges saying that he or she has a title, then it means that and the person wants even to take over because the moment you have paid, then you should go ahead and take procedure to take charge, to take possession.
So it's not good to leave our land plain?
No, don't. Once you leave it pending, then the other person can emerge and actually can settle on the land. And you see our laws, there is so much recognize the person who is on the land, who is there, who is physically occupying the land. So don't buy and simply go and sleep. No.
So once you paid, the next day you should show up and so
you should quickly take possession. Now, if this person is going to come and find you there, then that person will become a trespasser.
Because you already taken.
You already have taken this your land and you're already there on the land.
Okay.
So, but scenarios where people emerge with titles.
People were in that confusion.
Yes, the challenge there, because if someone someone emerges with another title, then means now that's not a problem. It could be either the title could be a forged title, or it could have probably emerged maybe you have, because it is not possible that you can, one piece of land can have two different titles.
It already by that fact it's not true.
By virtue, when you go to the land system, because recently the government of Uganda was digitizing land under what we call the land information system, to ensure that every plot, because the land, registered land, unfortunately, what I didn't tell you is that only 20% of Uganda's land is registered.
And the 80%?
The 80% is the communal land or what, but the private mile, where you have the title, is only 20%.
Sure.
So every piece of land. So
we are all fighting for that 20%.
Yes, because you see the other one is, for example, like the biggest part of northern Uganda is the communal land. The
Communal
people
land is
owned by the communities.
by
There's
the
no saying that race you have gone and you bought and you have, like it is with the private mile.
Oh.
Yes. So all private mile land, there is only one title that is authentic. But it is even possible that, because of fraud, because of what you already talked about previously, people coming up with all sorts of,
ways of
inconsistencies.
making money.
Yes. So
Yeah.
people can actually come up. You have heard people saying that their titles from Nasa Road,
Yeah,
which is very, very
and
unfortunate.
Very authentic.
Yes.
You can't even tell the difference.
But people may not tell the difference. So such a situation, that is why I was telling you that the real estate bill, the law that's going to be governing the industry, is going to help to curb out some of those situations. But in a situation like you've asked, if someone emerges with a title, then it means that you have to, in law there's what you call he who alleges must prove. So if you are you are alleging that actually this is your land, every land has a history. It is what you call area schedule. It must show how land has transferred from one to another. And the search from the ministry should be able to locate and confirm that who is the lawful owner and which one is the right title.
But you see, there are
Yes.
moments where actually people have had 2 authentic land titles.
Yeah. No. That is, I already said, unless you're talking about special title.
Yeah, like I think so one has a special, then one has the original.
Once the special title has been processed, then it takes precedence over the old title. Yes, because you see, to process the special title, it means that you are talking about that maybe the title got lost, so that means you involved the police, and then
So
they
that
run a
would mean
declaration.
the other person who has it is probably the one who stole it anyway.
Probably, or even, such situation is once they emerge, then that now becomes an issue that has to involve with the police, because there's fraud, that's clear fraud.
So my other question is,
Yes, please.
the moment you've finished buying the land, paid for it, taken a possession, possession of the land title,
Yes.
that part.
You have the title, you also have the physical, because there are two things.
Yes.
You may have the title, but you're not on the ground. Yes.
But now you have the title.
Yes.
You have the physical occupancy. What next?
What happens is that once I buy land from you as Royce, you are supposed to give me what you call a transfer. Because once the transaction has taken place, you are supposed to give me a transfer form, which is signed, and there are your photographs, there are your national ID. Then me, I can proceed with transferring it into my names.
Now,
Yes.
there are so many people who have transfer forms,
Yes.
land titles,
Yes.
are in possession, but I have failed to move to the state of possessing the land title because of costs, because mainly I think because of costs. What do you advise them?
For me, I realize, as I already said, when I was advising about the issue of moving to the land, going and making sure that you occupy the land, also on the issue of the title, if you receive your transfer today, it is better the next day proceed with transferring, even if it means borrowing the money. Because see, in law there's what we call, there's what is called documentary evidence. If you have a sale agreement, remember we have said that a sale agreement is good, you have done it through the lawyer.
Yes.
That can only be, connected and made complete once it is, you have the title in your names.
Oh.
Yes, because you see, you may have it is incomplete. You have the sale agreement, but the title isn't in your names.
So if I have the land possession, I took occupancy,
Yes.
I have an agreement that shows I bought the land, but I don't have the title in my name. I don't possess the land.
You don't possess the name, you don't possess the land, because the person whose name is on the title is the owner of the land.
So still you don't have legal authority over
You don't
that
have
thing.
legal ownership, because that is what you call a registrable interest.
Oh
Your
my
interest,
God.
it's like, for example, how can I say, like let's say like academic documents. If, for example, someone sits exams, another person's names, and the academic documents comes and they have another person's results.
So the
You
person
cannot
who
come
has
and
that
say, I'm
name-
the one who started the exams. How
Sure.
come the certificate will belong to the person to whom the name is reading? So similarly, the transaction is only complete at the
When?
stage when it has been transferred into the names of the person has bought.
In 1 minute, Robert, I want you to wrap up to my viewers.
Yes.
What are those things to watch out when they are buying land? We've gone through the procedure, but some of the things that you know that if you see this, be sure there's this. Just in 1 minute as we wrap up.
Well, in the first place, as I said, once you visit the place, once you visit the land, and the land has issues, because there are issues like, for example, squatters, Chibanja owners, and all those, what you call encumbrances.
Family land, quarrels.
Yes. Once you visit there, people turn up, they will actually tell you that, you know what, there is a problem here. And it is the whole purpose of actually visiting the land. So that once people are coming, you can reach the land, and someone comes with a panga and wants to cut you. Sure. So you should see that is
a no-go zone.
Then when also you do the search will come showing that there is an encumbrance. An encumbrance can be a caveat. It can be like a caveat. So that one is a pointer, a red flag that there's a problem with the land, because any person who lodges a caveat will do so stating the interest which that person has on the land. So that is a pointer. You should be able to. Then also, if you want to meet the landlord, the owner of the land, and you see, let's say for example, the broker is one who is involved and is trying to stop you or preventing you from meeting the landlord, you should also have some bit of suspicion. Until you have met the person whose name is on the title. Please don't go ahead to get involved in such a transaction. Sure. And then lastly is the issue at the time of paying. If you realize that the person you are going to pay to is not the same person whom you are supposed to buy from, because that happens. Yes. You see that the person is saying, no, it's a sort of gundi, and then because sometimes it can be like you're only talking on the phone. Yes. Most of they do that, and you end up paying the wrong person. And at the end of the day,
the right person says you didn't pay me.
Emerges and actually you didn't pay the person. Wow. So that is also very, very important. So.
Oh God, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robert, for this content. It was so good. We have learnt a lot for anyone who is buying land, about to buy land, bought land and has issues. Yes. Please tune in next time. We'll have more episodes about land, real estate, buying, fraudsters and all those things. And for now, I'll call it a day. Bye.